All right, let's talk about something we all know way too well. That feeling when a totally mortifying memory from your past just ambushes you out of nowhere. What is going on there? Well, today we're going to get into why your brain seems to love hitting the replay button on your most embarrassing moments.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You could be just trying to fall asleep, or maybe you're in the shower, and then bam! Your brain hits you with a high-definition replay of that time you called your boss mom, or when you confidently waved back at someone who was definitely not waving at you. It feels like a random personal attack, like your mind has a highlight reel of your worst moments on shuffle.
But what if I told you that this isn't some weird glitch in your brain? What if it's not a bug at all, but actually a feature? A very, very old one that's designed to protect you, even if it's a little overzealous about its job. Let's break down what's really happening.
Okay, so first things first. If this happens to you, please know you are so not alone. This whole cringe replay phenomenon is a deeply, deeply human experience, and it has some very specific qualities we can all recognize.
Yeah, these memories don't exactly knock politely. They just burst in, right? They're sudden, they're intrusive, and they feel so vivid you can practically feel the heat rising in your cheeks all over again. And for some reason, they're almost impossible to just switch off. And they love to pop up in those quiet moments when you're not distracted, giving them the perfect stage to perform.
So, why? Why on earth does our brain do this? Well, the answer goes way, way back into our biology. This isn't some personal flaw. It's actually your brain's ancient survival alarm going off.
The key idea here is something called a social threat. Think about it. For our earliest ancestors, fitting in wasn't just about being popular, it was literally about life and death. If you got kicked out of the tribe, you were on your own. No protection, no food. So your brain is still running on that ancient software. It sees a social blunder, like telling a joke that totally bombs, as a potential threat to your survival.
So when you do something embarrassing, your brain doesn't just go, oops, it goes into full-on emergency mode. First, it flags that moment as super important. Then, it stores it with this intense emotional charge to make absolutely sure you don't forget it. And finally, it puts it on repeat to drill in the lesson, okay, whatever that was, let's not do that again.
And that brings us to the really annoying part, right? The repetition. I mean, why doesn't our brain just learn the lesson once and move on? Well, it's because it gets stuck in what you could call an analysis loop.
The official term for this is rumination. And it's basically when your brain is like a dog with a bone, just chewing on the same thought over and over and over again, long after there's anything useful left to get from it. It's like a computer program caught in an infinite loop it can't break out of.
But you gotta remember, your brain thinks it's helping. With every replay, it's trying to analyze what went wrong, come up with a foolproof plan to avoid it in the future, and basically protect you from any future social risk. The intention is good, but the method is relentless. Now, a simple way to break this loop is to just label it. The second it starts, just say to yourself, I'm ruminating. That little bit of distance can really help. Then, try to switch to something that needs your focus, like a puzzle, or even just trying to name all the instruments in a song.
And if all that wasn't enough, there's another layer to this that makes everything feel 1,000 times worse. It's a psychological trick our minds play on us called the spotlight illusion. And honestly, understanding this is a total game changer.
The spotlight effect is this deep-seated belief that we're walking through life with a giant theatrical spotlight following our every move. Every stumble, every awkward comment, every bad hair day, we feel like the whole world noticed and is judging us for it. We just massively overestimate how much attention people are actually paying to us.
You can really see the difference here. On one side, you have your perception, you're on a stage, everyone saw and they will never ever forget it. But on the other side is reality. And the reality is that most people are way too busy being the main character in their own movie to notice what's happening in yours. They forgot your unforgettable mistake before they even left the room. So here's a little trick. Fact check that feeling. Ask yourself, can I name one embarrassing thing a friend of mine did last week? Probably not. You've got to grant yourself that same grace.
Now, of course, just knowing this stuff doesn't magically make the bad feelings disappear. This constant replay cycle has a real emotional cost. It can lead to these lingering feelings of shame and regret, it can dial up our social anxiety, and it can definitely chip away at our self-confidence. And that's exactly why it's so important to figure out how to do something about it.
So how do we break this cycle? Well, the secret isn't in trying to erase the memory, because let's be real, that just doesn't work. The real power is in reframing it. When you change how you look at the memory, you change the power it has over you.
Okay, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this right here. Your brain is not your enemy. It is not trying to torment you. It's simply trying to protect you using a survival program that is literally millions of years old.
I absolutely love this metaphor. Your brain isn't some bully, it's more like an over-caffeinated, super clumsy bodyguard. It sees a tiny potential threat and tackles you to the ground to save you. The intention is pure protection, even if the methods are a bit much. A simple daily exercise is to actually thank your bodyguard. When the memory pops up, just say out loud, "Hey, thanks for the warning, brain. I know you're trying to protect me, but we're safe now." It acknowledges the signal without getting sucked into the drama.
This is that mental shift in action. You go from the old view, my brain is punishing me, to the new view, my brain is trying to help, it's just a little clumsy. To make this a habit, try practicing compassionate reappraisal. When the memory hits, instead of cringing, consciously look for the lesson. Maybe spilling coffee on your shirt taught you to slow down. Maybe that awkward presentation taught you to double-check your slides. Find that one nugget of useful data your bodyguard was trying to save for you, and then let the rest go.
So at the end of the day, the problem isn't malice. It's just the mechanism. Your brain's protective replay system just doesn't have a good off switch. It doesn't know when the lesson's been learned, so you kind of have to create one for it. A really simple technique is to just visualize a literal stop sign the moment the replay starts. Just picture that big red sign in your mind. That small interruption can be enough to break the automatic loop and give you a second to choose a different thought.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The next time a cringeworthy memory sneaks up on you, try not to fight it or let it take over. Just acknowledge it. Give a little nod to your overactive bodyguard for its misguided attempt to protect you, and then gently guide your mind somewhere else. What if you're not actually haunted by your past? What if you're just being coached by a very ancient, very clumsy, but very dedicated protector?